to answer your question about why don't we support one another, we don't have the confidence to do it. Or maybe we don't know how because we used to how we grew up. You know, that crab in the barrel mentality. Like
Mm-hmm.
I gotta outdo Mike. I gotta do a Penrose. I gotta do Bailey. I gotta do outdo Kyle. I gotta outdo Big Roy. Like I gotta be the big dog. I want to be the star of this team.
Mm-hmm.
Dog, Michael Jordan didn't win the rings back in Chicago when I was living out there by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq or Kobe didn't win the rings by themselves. You can do so much by yourself. You go farther with a team.
It's your boy Verse, and this is Open Mic with OTR Mike.
Shit, yeah.
Yo, what up, good people? It's your boy OTR Mike. Let me be the first to welcome you to another episode of Open Mic with yours truly. Man, that's right. This is the show where the mic is open for any discussion, no matter what it is, who it is, or where it is. And today is going to be no different. Look, man, you know how I like to start every show. Gotta thank y'all for rocking with me, man. The solo journey I've been doing. I'm getting used to it. I'm getting better each week, I think, man. But I appreciate y'all for being here, checking in every week. Got a special episode for y'all this week, man. I'm gonna be joined by a brother of mine. Um, and look, I'm gonna let him, introduce himself. And because nobody could do it better than himself. But man, listen, this brother's been working. You can see the title of this episode, Podcast Hall of Famer, D Murph. Man, look, I'm gonna just bring him up, and I'm gonna let him give you a little bit of who he is, and then I'll explain to you why I call him a Podcast Hall of Famer. D Murph, man, welcome to Open Mic with your boy, man. What's up?
Hey, first of all, no, thank you, brother. It's an honor. Like I tell anybody that I've been fortunate enough to be in a like first 20 to 30 episodes, and y'all decide to hit me up. Thank you. I don't take that lightly. For those first time listeners, my name is D Murph, host two platforms, sports show titled Why Not Sports, where we talk about the good, bad, and the ugly of sports and how it impacts your everyday life. Flagrant 2, which is similar to Open Mic with OTR Mike. It's an open forum where guests can tell their truth without no restrictions and no judgments, because I'm not the one to judge when I got my own opportunities as a person. So been doing it for about 7 years, August of 2016 to be exact, what got me into this podcast community. I've been fortunate enough to work with this brother as your host, as my brother, and just good to be on his platform. I'm sure I'm gonna show some vulnerability as a man who has thick skin. Whether I played basketball, you can say boo 24, boo Murphy, you suck. I don't know why you playing, whatever, until this point where I'll show my vulnerability to where, you can't please everybody. So now that I know that, hey, that's why I still got a full head of hair. Good. I'm not gonna let you stress me out. Not like that.
Right.
No, sir. No way. No how. I
Right.
appreciate you, Mike, for having me on, brother.
Oh man, look, this is the pleasure is all mine, man. I appreciate you. This is a little different, man. Like you said, I'm usually on your two platforms, man, and we
Yeah.
dropping heat
Yeah.
on that, of course, and
Which you
you know,
yes, you do. And you
yeah,
have.
and we
Yeah.
got something new coming on Why Not Sports and Flagrant 2. That we got some heat coming
The
over
real
there. So,
flagrant too.
right, look, when, do we need to address that? Do we need to address that? We had the same. That's another way that me and Murph connected. Shout out to OTR off the record, man. We had a situation, right? Where someone was using the name, and we had to do what we had to do. Now Murph had the same thing, and I don't know if you want to go and
We
into
can,
depth
man.
about them.
I won't be too messy with it, but at the same time, imitation is the best form of flattery, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And I tell anybody that is confident in their brand or whatever they do, get the paperwork, get the patents, get the trademark, like all that. So if you check out Flagrant 2 Instagram, Flagrant 2 pod underscore, you'll see somewhere a few posts to where you'll see the actual trademark of the Flagrant 2 podcast has been trademarked from the U.S. trademark attorney. I'm gonna just leave it like that. So those other people who has helped me by using the name or similarly, if that's even a word, who use the name. Thank you for the downloads, the
Hmm.
exposure, and the viewership. It continues to help me put myself in the elite status as a podcaster. About 7 years, over 500 episodes, over 250 plus guests from everyday people to some exclusive interviews from iconic individuals in our community. Just giving a brother on this end an opportunity just to shine light onto their story.
100%, man. And you said that perfectly without getting too messy, but it was enough in there to let it
Look
know.
it up.
Right. Yeah, we ain't playing
For
no
sure.
games, okay?
Sure.
Like
For sure.
that's how it is. But look, man, let's get into Murph the person, man, because I want my listeners to get to know you, as well as they can, and then I want them to go over there and follow your work, man, and you'll get to know Murph a little more in depth. But Murph, man, I know you, right? You family man, career guy, great person, man.
Appreciate that.
But I don't know if you could tell, Murph sitting down, but Murph is 6'7".
Yeah.
Murph is a big guy,
Yeah.
you know, and he didn't waste his height. Murph was a ball player, man, and you speak about it on your show. You and I haven't really talked about it between us, but I'm
Yeah.
interested in knowing, about my brother, man. So, you know, tell the folks, man, um, how that went for you, man, and how I always like former athletes, and I always like to ask, like, how was the process, through high school recruitment process, and then post college, how did all of that go for you, man, and honestly, where did you get your love for basketball, and when did you start? Was it day one started with the hoops, or was it later? Did you start later on? um, you know, in age or whatever, then you started the hoop.
So for me, before I answer that question, great question. So for the listeners out there, I want you to know currently in Houston, it is a thunderstorm. So hopefully it doesn't cut us out or cut me out and mess up us record. So I want to make sure I put that disclaimer out early. I'm gonna answer the question, Mike, but at the same time, I have to give the backstory. That's important. I grew up in Gary, Indiana, to Derrick Murphy and Annette Strong, which Pops was on Why Not Sports. Love you, Pops. Check out that episode. And then I had Mom, Love You, Mom, on the Flagrant 2. If you check out the website, www.dmurphspeaks.com, you will see that same description, and just click the SoundCloud links for both platforms. Those will be the very first episodes to get more insight and more depth of me and my parents. So growing up um, in the early 80s and mom being by herself, especially in Gary, Indiana, there was a lot of, you know, crime, drugs, and with her doing what she could as a young mom, with me being full of energy, she was like, I need to do or give this boy something. No melatonin. No, we like, no, I give this boy something else. He can
Right.
use that energy. She put the basketball in my hand, let her tell it. And she told me 3 years old. In my eyes, I think I was probably doing that in her belly,
Right.
moving and shaking, crossing over. You know what I mean? But she told me 3. I'm not gonna, disrespect my mom and say you're lying. So at the age of 3, she put a ball in my hand because she wanted me to be tough. Because I was surrounded by her and my grandmother. Again, R.I.P. Granny, I love you, I miss you. And I just didn't have no male role model. My father was not around. He was in, as he liked to say, a 5x9, to where he wasn't able to see me on a consistent basis. Like I said, we talked about that, so it's nothing, under the sun. And she just saw me light up. She saw that regardless if it was raining outside, whether it was snowing outside, I still wanted to practice the game of basketball. And once I got the love for it, my height started going up with my talent and love for the sport. So in 8th grade, in 6th grade, I want to give a shout out to my positive male role model. At the time, he was married to my mom, John E. Anderson. He the second, you got to include the second. He saw something in me to where he was like, "We need to give you more exposure. You're gonna have to leave Gary. This is what it is, man." So he was working out there in Chicago, south suburbs of Chicago, and he was like, once you get through middle school, you're gonna go to high school. You're not gonna have no friends. You're just gonna be the new kid on the block. And as y'all get to know me, I'm like, word, I get a fresh start. They don't know me, I don't know them. So hey, let's make it happen. So end up going to high school in Chicagoland area, and just had a knack for it, man. And at that time, for those who know about basketball, you think of New York, Chicago, LA. I was in Chicago where Kevin Garnett, where Antoine Walker, like those were the guys I looked up to, knowing that I was in the area. And in my era, we had a few of them, that I played with consistently, played with and played against. People ask me even to this day, why don't you say the names? Because I'm humble about it, but I will say, look it up. There has been a few Instagram posts, and if Mike bring it out of me, cool. But if not, I'll be able to play with the top 75 player of all time, numerous NBA players, and just that mentality from a blue collar town, Gary, Indiana, Chicago area, is hard nosed, tough. Like if you look at Pat Beverly, tough. Not too sure about the Anthony Davis consistently, but he do shows, moments to where he can be tough mentally and still have that mindset, and physically, do his thing. So just coming up in the ranks again, if I didn't play the game the way I played, I'm not sure if I would be scholarship bound. Mom not paying for my education, and I knew that realistically. How many of us, as we was talking about before, Mike, like the first to go to college on a scholarship, a D1 scholarship, before me, never. So that was my fuel. And then I also not to see my mom struggle or my granny or anyone have to go out of their way to work extra or go above and beyond to supply my dream. You know what I mean? But my faith in God and just knowing that my gift will make room for me. I would get up at 7 a.m. during the off season, during the summertime especially. It was times, Mike, I didn't even take jobs. I'm like, I'm going to the NBA. I'm going somewhere. Like, well, how you gonna pay for it? I don't care. I'm not worried about money. That leads to even today. Forget the money. I'm doing what I love. Ain't that crazy how life works out? So
Mhm.
I played on freshman, did my thing, but I was still coming into myself. So my high school, because it was a basketball, it's basketball season. So we had a sophomore team. We didn't play as many games. They wanted me to play varsity in the sophomore year, but I didn't want to because I wasn't confident. I wasn't physically ready. I was like 6'2", 6'3", 170. Yeah, I'm a stick. But my junior year came, and this is good, Mike. As I reflect, they was like, Murph, if you're gonna be a post, why are you wearing 24? I said, because I can shoot like a 2. I play like a 4. So if you look in the middle, I'm a 3. I can go inside or go outside. And in my school history, no post had no lower numbers coming from my era. For those, OGs, like, man, yeah, if you was a post, you was 30, 40, or 50.
Right,
I mean,
right.
look at my Instagram. Look at my Instagram. I've posted a few pictures. They were earlier on. I think the most recent one was like early 2022 or late 2021. But yeah, number 24. So they talk about, oh, Murph, you was trying to be Kobe with your hair, with your look. I wore 24 while Kobe was wearing number 8. True fact. So I was able to, have the seniors let this junior come on the varsity and wear number 24. The school was like, who does dude think he is? D Murph. Promise you. So I made all district, all conference, was an all-state nominee as a junior, averaged 14 points, 11 boards, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Cool. My senior year come. The big man on campus. I already knew. I already knew what it was. My show. My school. And the same confidence you hear in my voice now is what it was like today. Maybe with not as much maturity, but I already knew this is my team. So came into my senior year, was preseason, all state preseason, all conference, preseason MVP. Like this, at that time, I grew a couple inches. I'm 6'6", 180. Like, oh, like, man. So for those knee problems that I had, them back problems, that's some growing spurts, and it showed paid. It paid. It paid us took a toll on me. It paid its price, but with the proper stretching and being a team around me was able to get me right. So I ended my senior year with shoe boxes of scholarship offers, average 22 and 10, all state. Like I said, played in the pro-ams in Chicago. That's huge. So I'm getting exposure. I'm loving life. At the time, I was a late signee to my 4-year school, Texas A&M and Corpus Christi, who are now in the Southland Conference. When I was there, we were in independent. So as independent, you can play anybody. They consider you, if you're not the powerhouse schools or Power 5, Duke, UNC, Michigan, you consider a cupcake. So again, I'm cool with that because I'm used to competition. I'm not afraid of competition. So I end up doing my thing there. But I'm going to backtrack a little bit. My junior year, I was captain. My senior year, clearly captain. So I go to A&M Corpus Christi right off the rip, captain. Yeah, I'm from the Midwest, Chicagoland area. But one thing my coach told me once I signed on that dotted line, when it must be again, y'all got to bear with me. I'm on the other line with a guy from DMV. I was in the DMV. When I got that call from Coach Ronnie Arrow, because I was looking at Virginia Tech, George Mason. I was like, forget it. You know what? I'm gonna go on the East Coast. I ended up signing that dotted line for Texas A&M Corpus Christi. He said he loved my energy. He loved my communication and my leadership skills. And to this day, Big Mike, again, as I reflect, I do not know the person. I don't know who, because they were not on my radar at all. It was a lot of schools, obviously from the Midwest. I didn't want to do code. like I told you guys earlier in the show, I had to hoop when it was snowing. I mean, I didn't have to, but I did because I love the game. But after a while, I knew my body was like, Murph, you got to get up a little bit earlier, right, to shovel that snow before and after games. And you're gonna get tired after a while, especially as you continue to live life. Your time is precious. So anyway, so I was like, you know what, Lord, if I can go somewhere south, bet I'll take it. Again, out of the blue, my mom called me like, you need to call this coach from Texas ASAP. Like he needs you. Call him. I called him up. I visited him. I went to go visit the campus a week later. So again, world, I had a lot of offers, shoe boxes. Derrick Murphy, we love to have you. Just the recruiting pitch. If I wouldn't have went to Texas A&M Corpus Christi, I had Northern Iowa, Maryland Eastern Shore. That was another one. I think Evansville. I was a mid-major. Like I said, I was kind of afraid to go to them bigger schools. I could have walked on, but at being 6'6", 190, that's a shooting guard. And I'm not a shooting guard. I'm a low post banger. Like I'm an inside presence, but I can score, I can dribble. You know what I mean? So I didn't really get those type of looks, but I had a lot of mid majors. Wichita State was another one, but it was just interesting. The only Texas school with the best weather, temperature wise, was the one I went to. Lord for that. I got to give him a shout out. So coming in as a captain, and like I said, we played against University of Illinois, which was number 2 in the country. University of Texas, which was number 5 in the country. We played them. University of Hawaii, made their all-tournament team, and just ended my career, man, shooting. I think as of right now, I was definitely the first person to lead the field goal percentage in the school history with over 60%. Also, I led all independent schools with 60%, but I think I was the very first person in school's history to do 60% for a season. Obviously, that's been broken a few times, but I ended my career as a top 10 rebounder, offensively and defensively, top 10 in rebounds. And to this day, the field goal percentage of 60%, I believe, is in the top 5. So ended up getting my degree in accounting because I knew basketball, even though ball is life, I know at my age, especially now, I won't be able to play it at the level I once played. And was able to balance academically, athletically, and having fun as a teenager, right? So hopefully that answers your questions overall. Because like I said, the recruiting process was crazy because I told my mom no to a lot of schools, and she knew that. So at that time, we didn't have cell phones. They had to talk through your parents or your mom in this case. So and so on. Nope, it's too cold. Nope, nope, nope. But school in Texas, who? Okay, give me the number. And, yeah, man. A lot of
Man,
prayer, a lot of
hey,
faith.
look, man, I love it. I love that answer, man. Because like I said, man, we talk frequently, man,
Mhm.
and we never, I don't get in folk business. You know what I mean? I know you share it on your show, but we never really got to talk,
For sure.
of how that process went, and man, and because you're a very humble dude. So like it's not like you be like, man, I was all state this and all that. You know what I mean? Like you always say, man, look, if you're interested, look it up. Like you know what I'm saying? But
Facts.
so we never really got to go in depth of it like that, man. So I appreciate that. And that just go to show, man, for recruiting. Like weather plays a part. You know what I mean? That plays a part in too.
Facts. That's why I'm still in Texas now,
Right.
world. Okay?
it plays a major part, man, of where you go, man. And I appreciate you sharing that, man. But I look, because I wanted them to get to know a little bit about you. Um, and that's what they got. They got a good part right there. But
Young
man,
D Murph, young
yeah,
D Murph,
young D Murph,
talk a
right?
lot, talk a lot of shit. Very confident.
Yeah,
Like, I'm just being honest. Like, this is who I am today. But young D Murph, it was a bull, head
yeah,
down, boom, running through
killer.
whatever he could, not
Yeah,
winning as respectfully, but running through the opposition and
yeah,
opposition
yeah,
to get the goals that he wanted. Some people got a dirty mind, Mike. So I want to
yeah,
make sure
yeah.
I correct
I'm sure a
that.
couple of my
Running,
listeners,
so you're one of them jocks.
yeah.
Running through obstacles and oppositions.
Look, a couple of my listeners, yeah, they gonna take it that way.
Thank
But
you. I've been doing this for a long time. I know how some of y'all be thinking.
but you know, so look, to be, I think that's what's missing. We're gonna go on a little sports tangent here, but I think that's what's missing in today's game with these young kids coming up. uh, a lot of them lack that killer instinct, right? Now a little bit of confidence, right, is taken the wrong way now. Like, where back in your time, back in our day, you know that was a part of it. Like, for me to get and complete this goal, man, I got to have this in me. Right, you in front of me, the opposition, man. I got to run through you. Now after the game, it's all love, but I got to
Facts.
run through you. And I think in some facets, man, that's missing in today's game, man. These kids they lack that killer instinct, and that, when I see you across the floor from me, across the field, whatever realm it may be, you know, at that moment, it's me versus you. We seen last night or yesterday, when LeBron walked up on Dylan Brooks.
Facts.
We don't know what he said to him, but we know it's something along the lines of like, "Yo, you didn't fucked up." You know what I'm saying?
He declined to interview
Hmm.
after that game too.
Yeah,
What did
yeah,
LeBron say? Crickets.
yep,
Smart answer, young man.
yep,
Stay in your lane.
yeah, 100%. So, you gotta have that, as a part of your game, man. But let's move on to adult D Murph, right? Um, you know, like I said, I dubbed this episode podcast Hall of Famer, man, and that is, nothing but a salute to you, because, like you said, just about 7 years in this game, 500 episodes. I don't know if y'all heard that, but he said 500 episodes, man, and that is a lot in this game.
And counting.
And counting, and I was a part of that journey of the
For sure.
road to
Thank you, brother, for
500.
that as well. For sure.
Yeah, man, and like, that just tells you the type of work that Murph has been putting in this game. I mean, award winning podcaster, as he said, man, humbly. He didn't mention any names, but I'm gonna drop a few. Right? Yeah,
I haven't mentioned any names. I'm just saying,
Yolanda
what's
Adams.
up?
Right? Yolanda Adams, Scoop, the great Scoop Jackson. He had power for all of my old school cartoon lovers and shows. He had a Power Ranger on the show. That's the name of few, man. Murph, I don't know. Oh, uh, man, his name slips me. The football player, um,
Mike Brockers,
Mike
Mike
Brockers,
Evans.
Mike Evans, Mike Brockers. Yeah, like,
I think
Brockers
we
was
saw
supposed to. He was supposed to come to Baltimore. I was upset. Something happened, and he ended up going back
yeah,
to
right. In a
to the
few.
Rams, man. But that's just to name a few, man. Murph, what got you into this game, man, and what made you, as to piggyback off the question of what made you fall in love with basketball, man. What made you get into this? What made you fall in love with content creating, man, as you moved into your adult life?
So for me, and you're catching me at a right time. I'm all about reflection right now on what blessings have been, coming my way. Once I graduated, once I was done with basketball, my baby girl was, in the oven. So I was like, man, my father wanted my life. think it's okay for me to lead a game because I would hear, "You're gonna need the game of basketball. That's all you know." No more than just a game. So my stubbornness, which I'll admit, I'm stubborn. I'm very headstrong. As I said, I get so locked in. I'm knocking over doors to get what I want and what I believe. So I left the game and sports alone, man. Like I said, graduating, taking a job in multi-unit management / sales. Did that for a couple of years. Realized, you know what? I'm tired of talking. Like if I'm having a bad day as a parent with very little guidance, that took a toll on me mentally. So I said, man, I don't want to do the sales stuff. I just, so I stayed in the multi-unit management field and got into the world of logistics up until 6 months ago. That's all I did as far as my full-time career. So 2016 come. Well, 2015, the Christmas of 2015. I'm looking at my son Derrick, D3. I had a long day at work. I said, no, he needs to know who his daddy really is. Like he shouldn't have to. Your daddy was a great ball player when he was playing high school and college ball. He was ... I said, all right, I gotta do something. And I thank God that he was patient with me because we were verbally, I would fight with him. God, I'm not happy with life. No, I wasn't gonna do nothing on the deep end because I have kids. Like I say, I have my baby girl, in 2006. But almost 10 years later, literally, I pushed I put my first episode out. So I'm looking up stuff. Again, reflection. I will always have people tell me, Murph, you have a strong voice, how you present yourself. Were you ever the captains on your team? I'm like, yeah, that's what I do. So you have the ability to bring a group of people together for a common goal. I say, yeah, you're right. Have you thought about being a speaker, being a radio host? I'm like, or a coach? Don't pay enough. And then, like I said, I just got so fed up with the job. I'm like, I'm not going to deal with this for the rest of my life. I'd rather do something I love and not get paid for it than get paid for something I don't love. So on this note, Lord, I'm about to go on the journey. I'm done with hooping because I need to be around my kids. But what can I do that I truly love? Is for the most part convenient. Won't take too much out of me financially, mentally, physically. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. While I was working at this job, I said job, and I gave her a shout out. I'll give her another one. Miss Lorraine Fox, the mother of De'Aaron Fox, Sacramento Kings. She saw how the people will respect me. She saw how the people would, look at me with the utmost respect as a manager. And she said, a lot of kids, a lot of athletes can use someone like you. Have you thought about pouring into kids? That was early of 2016. I was like, no, I don't know. I don't know. Because she was like, at that time he was at the high school level, and just saying that, because she'd been around the circuit, AAU, just hooping around, just around hoopers and student athletes, and was like, they really need that. And again, I didn't have no one pour that into me prior, not to that magnitude to where it resonated. So when I was ultimately making my decision, I remember hearing her voice pulling me to the side. And I said, once he signed to Kentucky, I said, oh, this is real. Oh, this is real. I said, I don't, like I said, it just sparked something in me to be like, you know what? I need to figure something out, Lord. I don't know what. I don't know what. So for months, I'm like, Lord, all right, it's getting close. I can feel it. What is it? Why not? Why not what? Like, why not sports? Why not sports? Like, yo, that's the title of my show. And I love D Murph. Even in high school, you called me D Murph, Murph. Like, that's me. So everything like the Flagrant 2 with D Murph. So that's how the title Why Not Sports come about. And then it's crazy. Like I tell people, I couldn't have came up with Why Not Sports, where you talk about the good, bad, and the ugly of sports and how it impacts your everyday life. Because I won awards in my multi-unit management. I won, I've earned bonuses because I was salary, which I didn't like. That's another story. But they will have me go help other people, teams and groups, to see how or learn some, tactics or things that they can, implement to help their team or their groups out. And I just said I got to do something on my own. So that's how Why Not Sports, came about. And first episode was solo for the first 10 episodes. And then again, it just hit me. That's when shout out to Big Roy Boy. I was like, again, used to work with him prior in the field of logistics. He fit the motto. He was a former athlete who, again, to Miss Lorraine's point, who's doing great things outside of their sport once their career is done. So I said, let me bring on another guy. Bet I don't know what this Why Not Sports going to bring to you, to me, but it's going to be a household name. I promise you. Because we fit the motto. You talk about the football aspect, I talk about basketball. Of course, we know all sports, and we just, we fed off each other very well. So after the first 10 episodes, he became, my co-host for Why Not Sports. And from there, guests from everywhere started coming. The biggest guest that really gave me the boost of confidence was two of them. One, for sports media attention, was B. Brandon Armstrong, the NBA impersonator. Now you see guys following his lead. You know what I mean? At that time, back in 2017, the Super Bowl, that when it came to Houston, when the Patriots played the Falcons, there was a whole bunch of people here. So I went to one of his events and linked up with him personally and things like that. And he was like, yeah, man, I love what you do, man. I'd love to be a part of that show. Because he, basketball player, turned that into where he's impersonating James Harden, Russell Westbrook, was on a Tonight Show. So now I get this locked in. That shows my sports media credibility. He did the show. Boom. That's when the brand, for sports media wise, took off. The person that made the brand take off, far as of that iconic level, was the great Leon Robinson. He's been on the show. He's been on the show 4 times. Yes, I'm talking about Tom Shep, was balling in Polaroids, who played on Temptations, who played on the 5 Heartbeats, who played in Cool Runnings. Yeah, that it took a picture. I went to New York, like was very vital in my brand being an established brand from someone of that magnitude, to where now you have to take me serious. So yeah, that's how the Why Not Sports and me getting the content creation came about. My Love You Pops episode opened up the door for the Flagrant 2, because we didn't talk much sports. And the Flagrant 2 came about, where it's an open-ended forum where guests, can tell their truth without no judgment or restriction. Like I said, my pops talked about his time being locked up. I didn't judge. So that's what led that. So just content creation, man, just giving me the opportunity as well as you, of having a platform where people, especially us, can feel comfortable. Because typically we always, let me rephrase it, most of the time we're being judged. Because I have a motto, I tell my kids, somebody gonna always say something. Somebody is not going to like you.
Yep.
And now that I know that, just do you. And then whoever rock with you, whoever wants you, as they say, what you want wants you. That's vibes, karma, like whatever you put out, you reap what you sow.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the fact that I get to talk to people again. Like I told you, shout out to my granny. I remember the long, rides. She didn't take the tollway or expressway. She took the back roads.
The
She had
back rows. Yeah.
so our conversations. Oh, we would stop by the gas station a few times throughout the week when she had a 4-cylinder car. But anyway, my point is, we had great dialogue back and forth to where I'm like, yo, this is dope. So just again, as I reflected, giving as many people their flowers or their respect as I can, as I'm thinking about it, I said, you know what? I want something like that. The Flagrant 2 was going to be an independent solo, similar to what you are doing with Open Mic with OTR Mike. And then I started getting more guests. Like, I would love to be a part of your show. I'm like, whoa. So between juggling both platforms, I love it. And I don't, I just love to learn new things from different people. And, like I was telling people to this day, outside of Kendall Gill, who NBA player, he came back to, our high school. I didn't have too many people pouring into me. Even in college, I didn't have some of the past players come back. That's why part of my mission is to, oh man, Murph, Chicagoland area. Murph, can you come speak in Chicago? Murph, can you come talk to the kids at your alma mater, Texas A&M and Corpus? Bet I got you. And so far, it's paying dividends for things that I didn't have. So I didn't have to bump my head along this journey called life without the proper mentorship or vital information.
Damn, Murph. That's why. Look, man. That's why I wanted you on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't. You the host. You always the host. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's good to, we've done other people's show together, right? Shout out to J Bug where we were guests.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, this is dope, man. And I got one more thing for you, man. And I think this is perfect for you to be a part of this conversation. One, right? For people who don't know, me and Murph, we met in this podcast thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we eventually, got to meet in person, which was dope. Murph was in the area at a speaking engagement, you know what I mean? Like doing this thing. He was coming here, he wanted
They
to
got
link.
me everywhere. I've been in LA, East
Yeah.
Coast, West Coast, down south, up
Right.
north, for real. That's why
He
I met
working.
Leo. I had something in the East Coast in New
Yeah.
York.
Yeah. I mean, he working. You know what I mean? And he was coming this way, DMV area, and I'm like, man, let's link. So I did get the pleasure to meet him in person. But I did an episode, man, about, getting more support, right, from people who you don't know, right? You know, like, why do you think that is, man? And what do you think about that? And then on top of that, like, you named a group of guys who you didn't grow up with, Penrose, myself, BTG, 12 Kyle, some guys that you made relationships in this podcast game, um, that are dope. Like, why you think that is, man? And how you feel about it, like I said, um and just overall, what do you think about the relationships that you coming into the content creation side of things, man, has allowed you to build, man, outside of, I mean, because somebody like you, was an athlete, you meet people along the road because you playing against, like you said, top 75 folks, you playing on the pro-ams, you playing D1 ball. So you meet a lot of people, right? You traveling and stuff like that. But what do you think about, that side of it, and then the relationships that becoming a content creator has allowed you to build?
So for me, as I stated earlier, Big Mike, somebody gonna always have something to say, positive or negative. More times than not, negative. Because what spreads faster? Negative. People not gonna always like you, and this is where, again, this is you caught me at a time of reflection. So on my father's side, my grandmother was a deacon in the church. She was very spiritual, praying for me, all that good stuff. I believe that's where my core of my spirituality has came from. Because even pops, is a deacon. So you're gonna have people. If people show you who they are, that's who they are. And the fact that I was able to, kind of have that instilled in me early, that was key. So when I came into this podcast game, I knew I came into it without looking for friends, if that makes sense. Like I said, I can be cordial, I can be respectful, but I'm not coming in, please be my friend, please like my podcast, please like and subscribe. I didn't come in doing that. My intent was to come in, do you, what you know, and see how it goes from there. So, coming in, realizing that it was a group of us, and just like anything, just like high school, that one list, like, okay, I think I know where you coming. I know you getting that, Murph. We all was tight in high school, but after high school, how many of us are still in communication? How many of us in high school go to each other's barbecues or events?
Facts.
We follow each other on Facebook and social media. Again, it's still good, but how many of us after them years really progress and grow together? You know what I mean? So again, it's not a knock. That's just how life is from the way I see it and how I interpret it coming into this podcast game. So when you include, like you said, the names, Big Roy, you, Penrose, 12 Kyle, Baylor, just to name a few, it's just like, it was just organic. It wasn't forced. It wasn't like I said, please like my show. Please like my show. It was just like, yo, if you're confident in your ability and you're confident enough that I'm not here to step on your toes, I don't know if that's a formula, but I'm rocking with you heavy. Because all of y'all and y'all own right are dope. And I'm okay with that. Y'all might do certain things, talk about boxing. Mike, I'm not messing with you on no boxing topic. I can hold my own, but after the 7th round in boxing terms, dog, I'm out. I have nothing left in the tank. Penrose, you talk about he's a storyteller, whether it's military, family man, I'm not messing with him. Baylor, music, West Coast, I'm not close. 12 Kyle, family man, marriage, like a working man, I'm not messing with him. I can hold my own, but I'm not messing with him. Big Roy, football, went to the draft combine, played I'm not messing with, I can hold my own. OTR Mike, again, I'm not competing with y'all, but we all have given each other that space to where it's like, yo, that's so-and-so. Hey, how can we Voltron this thing? Put all the pieces together for one mega squad or one mega team or one mega person. And that's what it is, man. And again, podcasting or content creation has been a big part of giving me that confidence as I once had going into my basketball career. Because whatever city I stepped in or whatever gym, you knew who I was. You knew what to get. whether you love me or hate me. Same thing with this podcast game. If I step into your city, it's a very good chance I rock with somebody in that city. Same correlation. Whether you love me or hate me, but you know I'm in your town. So when you talk about support, I support anybody. That's what. Shout out to Baylor. Love you, bro. Murph, they don't have nothing to say bad about you in this podcast game. You stand out the way. You still do you, but you stand out the way. Because guess what? As soon as they find something, that's your brand. That's your empire. And I worked hard for it. I spent a lot of money on it. I'm not letting certain things or certain people get in the way, but I will support you. I'll be cordial. I'll be respectful because that's what the corporate world has taught me. If across the board, well, Murph is cool. He just kind of to himself. But you can say what you want to say. But is he a dick? Is he being rude to you? You just do him. And if you can't respect that, so to answer your question about why don't we support one another, we don't have the confidence to do it, or maybe we don't know how, because we used to how we grew up. That crab in the barrel mentality. Like I gotta outdo Mike. I gotta do a Penrose. I gotta do Baylor. I gotta outdo Kyle. I gotta outdo Big Roy. Like I gotta be the big dog. I want to be the star of this team.
Mm-hmm.
Dog, Michael Jordan didn't win the rings back in Chicago when I was living out there by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq or Kobe didn't win the rings by themselves. You can do so much by yourself. You go farther with a team. And that's the principle for me, man. So I just thank God for brothers such as yourself and those who I have included and other people that's working behind the scenes. So for us not supporting one another, envy, jealousy,
Yeah.
then again, I'm okay with that because I got my shooters.
Mm-hmm.
I got my squad.
Mm-hmm.
I got my family. 7 years in this game with the people who I've been able to collaborate with, no matter where you are in your life, you've been on my platform.
Mm-hmm.
All walks of life been on my platform. Award winning. I'm an independent content creator. I'm not sponsored by, these big companies yet, but I still get the same love. I'm verified on Instagram and not Twitter. And people say, man, I see it, but you're followers. I'm not worried about the followers. It's the people I'm connected to and connected with. On why Instagram was like, yeah, you ready for that. The magazine articles, the recognition, and everything else. They're like, okay, yeah, we need to verify this account. So, yeah man.
And to speak on that, Murph was what was it? It was top 40 was it top 40 under 40?
Top 40 podcasts is under 40 for the podcast magazine. Yeah.
Yeah. So, when I say this brother been working, man, and when I title this
That was a huge
podcast
honor too.
Yeah.
There wasn't that many of us.
Yeah. I mean,
respectfully, it wasn't that many of us.
Yeah. I mean, you've done a lot, man, and to double back on, the question, I got homies that and people that I grew up around, they can make a country album tomorrow and I'm gonna spin it, right? That's just who I am. Um, you know, but it is weird and it can be, if you don't know how to handle it, somebody could take it wrong that, I've known you for X amount of years, but you won't you ain't spin my podcast or you ain't, you know what I mean? But like you said, man, you live, you learn, and you learn how to deal with that. It's just funny and refreshing how the podcast game and the content creating game has put people in your life who, in other words, man, you probably wouldn't meet. You might walk down the street, bump into on accident. Oh, my bad, bro. And don't know who that was. You know what I mean? And coming into this, man, I thought it would be more of a, that competitive spirit, right? Like just like anything, man, I'm trying to get there. So I ain't helping you out, but it was complete opposite. People welcome me and the guys in. And it's just been none but support, man. And I think that is dope. And it's great, you know. So of course, man, I like to give flowers, man, and I want to make sure the world knows, and my listeners know that this guy here is he working, man, and those who respect the grind, this is who you want to look at. Murph. One thing Murph, taught me, you know, in this thing is, look, man, don't feel bad about though. And I had an episode on about this. My last episode, Life Be Life, and I talked about how, for a good month, I kind of stepped away. And Murph is one of those that taught me, man, don't be ashamed of that. Like, it's you might have to step away, man, but it's the comeback. Just keep going, man, and keep pushing. And those little text messages and those those check-ins, that you do, and Penrose and those guys do, man. You know, it's like I said, refreshing to get that from people who's going through the same things, and in this content world, it's not, you don't go to work and you can't really express certain things, especially
For sure.
about content creating, to people who ain't in the game. You know what I mean? But people like yourself that understand it, um, I just appreciate that, man. And you know, this was dope, bro. Like this,
Yes, sir.
this is
Yes,
this
sir.
is this is what
Yes,
I
sir.
wanted. I had, there's no question that we was gonna drop
I
some
want
heat
to add one
together.
thing before we go, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
As a content creator or anything, when you go on your own, and me and Mike spoke on this on a Flagrant 2 episode, and just in life when we, or in person when we spoke about it. If you got to step out on your own, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's people I came in with in high school, and this podcast game. The podcast game, they come and go, or they're gone. And them same people or groups either don't talk to me or I don't talk to them. I'm gonna put myself in that category as well. But it's a real, I don't even say respect, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what we did or what was established in, no one can ever take that away from us. Any mashups, any collaborations we did. Like I said, I keep all my episodes from 2016 up until this point. If we ever talk after we record it, it's still up because it's something that person shared that someone can take, note to and implement it or use it in their, walks of life. So yeah, just don't be afraid. You can't take everybody with you is the point. You cannot take everybody with you, and everybody don't want to go with you.
Right.
So
Right.
don't force it.
Right.
Please don't force it. This right here, what you listening to across your ears or through your skull or airwaves, is organic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No question. 100% organic. A lot of y'all don't. I'm gonna drop a slight secret on y'all. I know how it is when me and Murph record, right? And I know how it is when Murph records with some of the brothers and sisters that he named. This stuff ain't scripted, right? Like, and no disrespect to those who, because I get you got to script out.
That's good. That's
There's
good.
sometimes when scripting out is necessary, but when you have an organic chemistry with certain people, you don't script this. This wasn't scripted. You'll the episodes you'll hear on Why Not Sports and Flagrant 2, not scripted. We have an idea where we going, but we just rock and we let it happen, man. So you are witnessing an organic chemistry between two brothers,
Mhm.
who met in this content creation game, man. And it just goes to show that
Be
you
true
can,
to who you are.
yeah, you
Another
be
thing.
true.
And don't be lying. Like I told Mike, I'm gonna come see you, Mike. I told him
Right.
that early in that last year. Mike, I'm coming.
Yeah, he always said it
Coming.
like, yo, I'm coming. I'll be there. And I'm like, all right, man. And he said it, and
Like
I
he
said, yo,
said.
you come, I got you. You know what I mean? And it was, and it happened, man. And we had a great time. A lot of things that was discussed, like he said, that's locked away, But
I love the
again,
brotherhood. Love
yeah,
y'all.
but it was organic. You
Yeah,
came and it was like you and Penrose showed up and it was like, we've been kicking it for years. It didn't
right.
feel like the first time meeting in person. So again, man, that's that organic chemistry, man. But look, bro, let these people know where they can find you. If there's anything else you want to share with them, what you got going on or what's coming up next or anything, but please let them know where they can find your work, man, and how they can get in touch with you. And if they aren't already, man, following all of this good stuff that you got going on.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you again, Mike, OTR Mike, for having me on open mic with your show, man. I appreciate it, brother. It's good to be on the other end to where you can just be a little long-winded without having to lead and host a show. But what would be nice for me before I let you world and listeners know where to find me? Mike put podcast a Hall of Famer. I came into this game not saying I got to do this for the fame and fortune. Mm-mm. I just came into it to be able to tell my story, because there are times when we want to look up people or research people, we have to hear it from other people and not from the horse's mouth. So that was something I wanted to do, and that's what I am continuing to do. So I'm thankful for that. So that one day, and this is official, I'm a podcast Hall of Famer. Mike said it. Like that's all I need. So that time do come when this actual hardwood. I'm gonna remember this episode where open mic was like, "Yo, I remember Mike. You said I was a podcaster, a podcast Hall of Famer, bruh. You spoke it. I've never said it. Never. Oh man, I'm on. Check out any of my episodes. Podcast Hall of Famer D Murph. So for them podcasts, companies out there and whoever else, go ahead and just add to what Big Mike said, so we can give me the hardwood, and I'll add another one to the trophy case. Anyway,
Right.
I love receiving hardwood, and it goes back to sports. I got all my my awards, my plaques, my picture frames and stuff. So just continue to add to what I've already got, and that's not including the podcast stuff overall. But you can find me in a list of like Murph. This is you. This is me. Whether it's the Flagrant2 underscore on Instagram, wherever you find Mike, for the most part, exception of YouTube, you can find the Flagrant2 with D Murph, the real Flagrant2, Why Not Sports. You can find that everywhere as well. Instagram, Why Not Sports underscore, and individually, just to kind of, see who I've been able to connect with and collab with. www.dmurphspeaks.com needs to be updated. I'll be reaching out to the team on making that happen, just to add a few more people to that great list of people I've been able to collaborate with in episodes. But Instagram and Twitter at it's dmurph. That's where you can find me. And just thank y'all for allowing me to listen, be in your ear.
Right. Shout
I
out to
won't
the
be before
homie.
you long.
Yeah. Shout out to the homie Penrose, man.
Yeah,
And
man.
yeah, man, this was important. I do look at you as a Hall of Famer in this game, man, and
Appreciate it,
you
brother.
can still
I
be
don't
a
take
Hall of
that lightly.
Famer and playing in this game. Um, I recently said the same about BTG, man, and I think you guys are, and a host of other ones, but you guys are really good at what you do,
Thank you.
and I'm about, this is a year for me about giving people flowers while they here, man. Like, we tend to give each other flowers when unfortunately we ain't somebody not around or whatever. Nah,
Yeah.
not this year for me. I'm giving people their flowers while we
Appreciate
here
that, brother. Means a lot.
and while they can receive it. So man, look, Murph, I appreciate you, man, and checking in. I know, you don't do this often. So I
I
take
sure
this,
don't. I sure don't, man. I sure don't.
I
Trust me.
appreciate the
I've got a
love.
nice inbox of, did you receive my email? Oh, well, I got stuff I got to do.
Right. So I appreciate this, bro. And like I said, man, this is another episode. of
Come on
open
now.
mic, which
Yes,
was
sir.
truly, man. I told you I was going to give you guys some dope guests going forward after my little, sabbatical of going away for a month or so. But I told you,
He
man, I
giving
was
you double for your trouble.
yeah,
Okay.
it's the heat. The heat is coming, and I'm just gonna bring these dope people before you. Look, because I end every show, man. I appreciate y'all checking in with your boy and rocking with me. Man, you can follow me on Twitter and TikTok at OTR_Mike, Instagram OTR Mike _. For my audio listeners, I am on all of your favorite podcast streaming platforms. Go over there, check it out, give your boy a 5-star rating. I appreciate you in advance. And all my YouTube watchers, or however you want to, if you want to see us, man, go over to YouTube, open mic with OTR Mike, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, hit that like button on some of these other videos, man. Um, Show your appreciation that way, and we appreciate you. All right, Murph, we out of here, man. Again, appreciate you. That's another one, fellas and ladies. I'll holler at y'all next week. We out. Peace.